Finger on the screen as always. Oh yes. Yeah, it's on. So we're here with JF Caron, the North King. It's right here. I don't know if you can see it on the top of. Yeah, that's right. So it's
Yeah.
an honor. It's an honor to have you. We haven't really spoken before. I think I sent you a message in 2021. Probably came to your spam. I'm guessing. And I thought he'll never see this. So
Well,
yeah, yeah. I was surprised when you saw the sec. I didn't even remember I had sent you a message in 21 when I first followed you, and when I went into to text you again, I'm like, oh shit, I sent him a message already. It just goes to show that that anyway. But it's a pleasure for me to have you on the podcast. This is my fourth episode, and you've done so much for the sport and in the sport that you need it. That definitely need more. In my mind, you need more exposure. You're a pretty quiet guy.
yeah. I was really quiet during competing. My strategy was always to don't put pressure on me for nothing.
Yeah,
I really pleased with the role of underdog guy, but the
yeah,
most important for me was to put result on the paper.
absolutely, absolutely. So, would you like to go through your uh, many things that you've done? You've done a lot of things. So, please correct me if I'm
Yeah,
wrong. I've done my best. Anyway,
yeah. I will try to get good memory on that.
this is a quiz. I think I'm trying to trap you into
Yeah,
the. All right. So you've done over 100 contests.
yeah, true.
So, it's
I
all.
think total with the contest I made in powerlifting too
Hmm.
and local show, it will be around 260 show. It's what Paulo, a very famous book writer like Luis here, the biography is the writer of that. Is a big fan of strawman since many years.
Yeah.
It's what he registered from me. Then the numbers not came from me, came from Paul. 260 plus.
260. Yeah, that's another thing that I admire in strongman. That us powerlifters, because it's the same fucking exercises. It really is. So we may rotate a little bit of incline, but I don't see a lot of powerlifters going outside to pick like natural stones, stone to shoulder and stuff like that. Although it would make them stronger. That's what I think. So it's always like
Yeah.
my preps are like 3 to 4 months. If it's like 2 months, I'm like, oh, there's not enough time. And you guys were competing every week to 10 days. It's brutal. I mean,
Yeah,
there's not enough time to. You don't have a choice. You just do the best you can.
yeah. But when I started strongman, like back in 2004,
Mm.
we compete also in powerlifting because it wasn't so many strongman show.
Yeah.
It was strongman show in summer, but in winter it was nothing. It
Yeah.
was a bunch of powerlifting meet.
Yeah.
Then we carry the province around, and sometimes outside the Quebec province too, to compete in many powerlifting meets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember doing like 8 powerlifting meets during a winter, no problem. You know.
Okay.
But I think helping me a lot later, at one moment you have some max lift also in strongman. You have to choose your weight,
Yeah.
and this experience is crucial for strongman. And I think few guys can get better results, in my opinion, at very top level
Yeah.
if they have a powerlifting experience
Absolutely.
and they don't have this.
Absolutely. A strong base, strong quads. Abdominals. I mean, the squat and the deadlift are the kings. I know they're your favorite. That's why I said it, but they're my favorite too, personally. I love the presses, but lower body for me is like, I mean, my body's broken. I'm still obsessed with it, so I'm still training with it. So. Yeah, I mean, for football, wrestlers, MMA fighters, basketball players now, the last 20 years or so, maybe mid 90s, if I remember well, the Chicago Bulls and all these guys were doing those half squats and, they're doing the kettlebell swing, stuff like that. But I agree that powerlifting is the base, for sure. Let's see, 260 contests, my God. All right, so 12 times on the podium at the Canada Strongest Man, winning 9 times in a row.
Yeah, from 11 to 2019, when I decided to stop.
Yeah.
We organized also the show 2021,
Okay.
and I wasn't competing, but because I have to organize the show and I want to be like fair with that. But it was a good era, and I remember big battles, with Louis-Philippe Jean, Christian Savoy, at the start of the year 2010.
Yeah.
It was a very good level of strongman, there in Canada. In that time, we have three big guys at international level in that moment.
Right.
And probably the best souvenir I have, in terms of rivalry between us. We have good friends, but also on competition day, we have to compete for yourself,
I was actually, I'm mentioning, I didn't know, it's Christian how do you pronounce?
Yeah, Christian Savoy, yeah.
Savoy, okay, because obviously it's spelled, weird. I was gonna say, how am I gonna, man, I'm gonna ruin that man's name. It's the French, I don't, you can't understand, I don't speak it.
Exactly.
So I thought I'm gonna embarrass myself, with the French names.
But he's probably the guy who pushed me the most to train, very hard. Because Christian won 2009, 2010 Canada's Strongest Man. He competed also World Strongest Man and many international contests.
He was winning Canada's before you.
Yeah, just before me. Just before me. And when I came Canada's Strongest Man is because I finally beat Christian. But he really pushed myself to my own limit for all the year. I have to train. Like I would say I never did training that much after that. He really pushed me to gain another level, just to be unbeatable at that moment. If I really want to beat him, because he was so good. He was probably the best grip I ever seen, and it challenged me on many of my weaknesses that I have to train like every day. In that time, remember training 2 times a day, like hell, and I never do it after that. After those years, I have to slow down the rhythm, to save my body. But is probably the biggest reason of my success in international starting around 2011. It's because Christian Savoy pushed me, very hard.
That's awesome, and I'm sure he saw something in you too. Probably something was there that he saw, and he thought, okay, it's his time.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. 16. Okay. Also, I see in 2016, Canada's Strongest Man, you won all 8 events in the contest, which is the only time a competitor has managed a clean sweep at the Canada's Strongest Man competition. That is insane. 8 events.
Yeah, true. And still, it's not beaten. It wasn't easy. It was really close on one event. It was a car walk. And one athlete, Vincent Lapointe, was really good at that. We finished in the same second, but still, I beat him. It was close, but it was my goal of that year. I was in really good shape 2016. I remember I started the Arnold circuit tournament. In that time, it was many Arnolds during the season. Then I really want to win all event because it never happened before. I was honestly really proud of that achievement.
That is insane, yeah. Okay, so we got not a few lifts, but anyway, some of them. We got 1,021 pounds Ep4 bar deadlift.
Yeah.
1146 silver dollar deadlift.
Yeah.
These are tough because they oscillate, right? They go back and forth. They don't just bounce, right?
Yeah, and honestly, on that day, on the silver dollar, I was fighting with Thor, in Dubai.
Oh, yeah.
And we just stopped at that weight. We live both 520.
Yeah.
And we did this during 1 hour and a half minutes. And we just said, okay, it's enough. We stopped. It's other events. And but I think I have more in the tank.
You think you could have beat him?
Yeah, I think.
Let's see. We got hammer tire deadlift, 545 kilograms. I got the kg and the pounds. It's confusing for me to. So 1,200 pound hammer tire deadlift.
Yep.
That's fucking insane. Let's see. This is one of my favorites because it just looked absolutely perfect. It's one of the SAT contests 2022 Arnold Strongman Classic where you did the squat. 966, 438 kilograms, which to me was, when I saw it, because I'm a freak, I watched as many contests as I could. I thought it just looked, it was the best looking fucking squat of the contest by far. Martin Lisa's looked good too. I think it was right behind you. I can't remember them all. It's a lot of people, you know. I think Martin's was
Yeah, I
behind you.
think no Kearney, but
Ah, Rob
everybody
Kearney,
was really
wasn't it?
close. Kearney 961. Then I just dropped over to win the event. But honestly, I was thinking it would be way higher than that.
Yeah.
I was prepared for 1050, something, and it's why it's looking so easy on the video.
I really
But I'm
think.
pretty sure it's because the guy was too much conservative. I think Liches have more in tank.
Yeah.
Bobby Thompson have more in tank.
Yeah.
It's just because when they are not a big experience in powerlifting,
Yeah.
and they was afraid that,
That's it.
missing a deadlift, everybody's fine with that, but missing a squat is more like fear, about that. Then it's why the guy don't push super hard. But it will be interesting to see, that even come back for one more time. I'm disappointed this year. It's a lot of big squatter in the lineup, and they decide to put back again deadlift. I think with Thor, Mitchell Hooper, also Luke Casada is an incredible squatter.
Yeah.
It would be very nice to see that, but must be shorter. The thing was, back in 2022, it was too long. I think just no suit, just knee wraps at least, but a quicker preparation must be more enjoyable for the crowd. It was too long. It's my opinion.
It was as slow as a powerlifting contest, and that's fucking boring. Nobody watches that. Aside from powerlifters and their girlfriends, nobody bothers with that stuff anyway.
Exactly.
You got a giant barbell squat, 750 pounds for 7, and 700 pounds for 13. That's insane. The log press, 195 kilograms, 430 pounds. Logos for reps, I mean, that's easy. That's the light stuff for you. 320 by 8. I don't know if I can bench 320 for 8 reps. I've done it for 6. Anyway, thanks. We got a max Atlaston of 220 pounds. I'm sorry, 220 kilo, 220 pounds. 485 pounds. It was a 5. Also, you did 5 stones in a row, and the last one was 220 kilograms, right?
Yeah, it's this famous stone run we got in Arnold, Australia.
I see.
Then it is the stone series we have. Last one is 220.
Yeah.
Just few guys finished that, including Brian and Mikhail Sheblakov. I think Rono and La finish also. Yeah. But honestly, it was a rough stone run to do at the end of a brutal contest. But Australia was always, I would say, some years hardest competition than Columbus almost. Because it was also on 2 day. Sometimes we do 8 events. Then I remember leaving Australia 2 weeks after Columbus, totally broken.
2 weeks later, your nervous system was still, I mean, it's brutal stuff.
Yeah, with big travel, but very interesting. That time when the Arnold was everywhere on the planet was probably the most, I would say, competitive and, the most exposure on strongman, in those shows around the world. And we really need to push hard because we need to qualify. It was no gift.
Yeah.
No invitation. You won't be there with, it's very, very simple. It's what I was liking a lot that time during 2016, if I'm right, to the pandemic.
Yeah. It's true. There was that. Now it's just insane with how many qualifiers you have. Insane. Plus the 105 kilo guys. I'm not really following these guys that much, but there's a lot of athletes now. A lot of athletes at this point,
Yeah, much more athletes. And I really like those qualifying events, giving the chance to I will name the level B athletes to jump in.
Of course.
And honestly, I was in OSG this year and watching the top guys in open class. Yeah. Those guys can easily make the world's strongest man final if they get a good group with good events. Everybody have a chance. It's no very big difference between those levels.
No.
And you have few guys making the world's strongest man final, missing the final in OSG. Then now everybody, it's the difference between when I started now. Now you have a bunch of good guys. If you're not ready, 10 other guys can take your place and did good.
Everybody's prepared, and the equipment gets better, and every gym in I guess not Greece, but we got a couple of gyms here. But I know Canada and the U.S. and I think Germany, some European countries as well. They're full of equipment at this point. everybody can do it. Much like
Yeah,
CrossFit, I think it's like
yeah. The availability of equipment is a big part of that.
yeah,
I trained outside for 15 years in my career with my own stuff because it was nothing in the gym, but now it's everywhere. Then it's more easy. It's why you have so much better athletes.
it's true.
In the I would say pro level. Pro level.
Now you can buy stuff from Rogue and Strength Shop. Farmers Walk. I was thinking 10 years ago. I was
Exactly.
thinking I should probably make these. I didn't know how to make them, so I never made them. But
Yeah,
now you can just buy
yeah.
them.
In past, it wasn't a good welder. You cannot do it anything. You have to build on your own.
Of course. I mean, you have a lot of snow there. We have a lot of heat here, which I can't stand. But yeah, it's true. It's true. Let's see. 11. Well, now we get to the heavy stuff. 11 World Strongest Man appearances. 9 times making it to the finals. Third place in 2020. That is huge, though. I mean, that in my opinion, that I don't remember where I read it because I read a lot about stronger powerlifting, obviously. But I read somewhere about you should be in the top 50, like at least of modern times, the guy that I've been registered since the organization started. I think that's not very fair. You should be a little higher. My opinion, 30, top 30. I mean, there's a lot of athletes. I understand this, I mean, but top
Yeah,
50.
it's a lot of athletes. You have a bunch of different winners also. Then you have to put those winners in
Yeah,
front of me.
of course.
But it was always good results. I make top 5, I think, for 7 times or something like that. In World Strongest Man,
It's huge.
because I always prepare majority for that show every year.
Yeah,
It was the most important for me, and I try to always do my best on that. But it's no tricks, to be always in final and be always top 5. You need to be good at everything because they never announce. It's also a big difference. Now you have people preparing for a year
of course.
for a specific show, specific event.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
my time, you train everything and anything can happen. You have no idea. I remember 2014, we got the group and the events at the airport. When we arrive in Los Angeles. Then, if you're not ready for anything,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you have no chance. Then you have to train. That's it. Very very simple.
That's why they say like the top 10 guys can rotate very easily depending on the day or the events. It could be the number 5 guy,
Yeah,
could be the first guy. It's
yeah,
genetics as well, but it's just impossible to prepare. That's why. I mean, I guess that's why a lot of guys find it so exciting because it's an adventure. It's almost like you're in the jungle or in the woods. It's so raw and natural. I think that's what I enjoy about it anyway.
yeah.
But that's also what makes it so difficult. So let's see. 4 Arnold Classic appearances, 4 World's Ultimate Strongman appearances, two podium finishes at the Shock Classic. These were huge events. These were heavy. I can imagine, right? Like that's a lot of weight being lifted. Second in 2020 and third in 2021. 2 times World's Strongest Viking Champion, 5 times Strongman Champions League, 4 times second place. That was the first page. Only 2 more pages. Not that much. We'll be done by tomorrow morning, I think. Okay, let's see. No, I'll be faster, I promise. And 1 time fourth. You got 2 times North America's Strongest Man, 3rd time second, 1 time fifth. There were a lot of strong people in those contests. There's a lot of strong people everywhere. 7 powerlifting contests. I think that's what I could find on Open Powerlifting. 7.
Yeah, yeah. But I think between 50 and 60 competition in powerlifting.
Oh, I see.
We compete a lot in Quebec and in many CPA sanctioned meets. In the past, it was all equipped, like single ply equipment,
Yeah,
and rock up later. Then probably what you have
yeah.
is just raw stuff. But it was at the end. I think my last powerlifting meet was 2015 in Raw United because I was there with Jimmy Paquette wanted to compete.
Yeah.
Because I just coming back from winning, the World's Strongest Viking in Norway.
Yeah.
We traveled in Florida because Jimmy was young, like 20 years old at that time, and I go with him to compete and find out, I jump in, I would do.
So you
For fun.
decided
Then
to
I
just
compete there.
yeah, let's just
Yeah,
do it.
it was funny. Make a top 3, in the Open. I have the chance to live with guys like Dan Bell. Also, Dan Green was there on that competition.
Oh yeah.
Matt Winning, Then it was those guys. I never meet them before, but we know because we have social media,
Of
But
yeah,
just have the time there to like
yeah.
exchange with those guys, talking about training and different things, was really benefits for me.
Oh, I thought I lost you for a sec. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
yeah. It's because I get a call.
there's some supremely strong people statically in powerlifting. I mean, I've had the chance to. I mean, I saw Thor. I competed in 2018 in December. That was my last contest
Yeah,
in Iceland. Of course, I sucked because I wasn't prepared. I was gonna do it because I was moving out. I'm back to Greece now, and I saw Thor squad. And I need to say this, that 460 squad, they should have fucking gave it to him. That was at
yeah,
least
true.
parallel. At least, I mean, when the man's thigh is literally this big. I mean, he's squatting. I think he squatted as low as he could before he got crushed by it. It was at least parallel. I would have. I told Sebastian, his coach. I think he's the Australian guy. As they walked
Yeah,
past me, I said I would have given him that squat. And I already competed like 16 or 17 times. I was coaching people. As in, I don't want to sound like a elitist idiot, but I think I know how to judge a fucking squat depth. And I said that was legal. I don't know why they didn't give it to him the 460, but that was a shame. It was crazy to see that in person. I was like, what the
yeah,
hell? That's a lot of weight.
yeah. I'm agree. I'm agree. But also probably from Thor, it was lack of practicing
Yes.
max girls because he can do a lot deeper and get it. No, I'm sure he have more power in the tank.
Oh, he did. He
He can
did.
get it. Sometimes when you start to don't push your hips low enough,
Yeah, yeah,
it's just confidence feeling probably he have and not
yeah.
practicing enough because he not competed so many times at powerlifting before that show.
No, no, he
It was
didn't.
a really short period of time to
Yeah,
prepare.
yeah,
Then I'm sure if you just continue to do it, can hit a lot more. I will see this guy probably capable of a 500 kilo raw squat.
yeah. Of course, of course. Okay, let's see. Competed against. All right, let's name a few. Competed against some amazing athletes like Saviskas, Shaw, Bjornsson, Pritchett, Eddie Hall, Hollands, Shale, of course, Novikov, the Stoltmans, Radzikowski, who is another great athlete. He doesn't get mentioned that often. Felix, Savatinov, whom I also want to get an interview out of. Lisis, Kiliskovsky, Thompson, Trey Mitchell, Singleton, and Matthias Beljak, who is also another guy that people. These are the quiet guys. He wasn't a very he didn't talk that much. I don't know if his English was that good. Maybe he was just shy back in his day. But Matthias Beljak was an
Uh,
absolute animal. I think he was really, really good.
yeah, and really, really smart athlete. And you forget Mariusz Bojanowski. I compete with him one time.
With Marius, huh? Marius was a
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
machine. He was a machine. This guy.
yeah.
He was a machine.
Yeah, yeah. It's what I saw that day, and because I don't really know him because I crossed this car, he finished, and I
Yeah, yeah.
start. But Stan has taught me about him a lot, and he always taught me. He said that guy is very hard to beat because when he need more, he
Yeah.
will do. It's not so many guys can do it
Yeah.
in any sports. But if Marius today need 10, he will probably do 10.
You think so?
You know, this extra much, he always can surprise you. Then never think this guy will fail. Then it's hard to beat a guy like that.
It is.
And we have athletes also cannot do it. Why you think Hooper is that hard to beat? This guy
Yeah.
always prove you wrong.
Yeah.
Evens after even. You think that even I find that probably we find the weaknesses of him
Yeah.
and shit always win. Then it's why this guy is so hard to beat. Marius was in this category of
Yeah.
guy.
He was. He was. I think another thing that I like to say because I've studied the sport quite a lot. I mean, for as an amateur, obviously, I've competed in strongman once and I sucked. I mean, I'm not qualified, but I've been around these guys and I've trained with quite a few of them. I think Mitchell, because I was gonna get to him eventually. He in my eyes, he reminds me of Sigmarsson, of Magnus for Magnusson, who is like my guy, and I think that in Mariusz Pujanowski, he's like strong enough, but his cardio is just insane, and that helps. when you're 145, 150 kilograms and you can run for that long, you're gonna beat the bigger, heavier guys. You're just going to. And he's
Yeah,
explosive. You know,
yeah,
he's this is what I told my girlfriend all the time. Like I'm Hooper and Hooper, and she's like, oh my god, he's just like, oh, it's that guy again. And I said, he's just. I mean, he's fucking won like 18 out of 20. I may be wrong, but he's just destroying everybody. What's
yeah,
in the
and
water in Canada? What's going on? Where you?
yeah. I think he built his basic in Australia because I know he was living there for a while.
Oh, okay.
But I think Mitchell Hooper probably can play professional in any sports if he really
Yeah, yeah,
practice it.
absolutely.
He have better skills than anyone right now. Is really good at anything. He adapt really fast.
Yeah.
He's also a guy you don't really need to prepare. Really, really focus on something.
Yeah.
You will bring where in the middle of nowhere with new events, and he's top three. You understand what I mean then?
Of course.
It's also a part of talent in strongman.
Yes.
And you see already those guys very talented. Martin Litch is a good example. Martin was not the most muscular guy. He wasn't the strongest guy on one something things. But at the end of the day, he won.
Of course.
Because this part of talent is there. And I think because now you have more and more people training strongman sport and pushing hard in that sport too, you have new talent like that coming from nowhere.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Arrive at the top level really, really quick. One guy told me one day, if you're not world champion, or world top 10, example, inside 5 years of training really seriously in strongman, it will probably never happen.
I understand.
And probably Hooper do it in 2-3 years only.
It's insane. You cannot find contests from 2021 because he wasn't even doing it in 2021. What the hell is going on? He's just really quick.
Yeah, he was just stuck in Australia building his basic lift, doing deadlift squats. And I check Mitchell train right now. He's also a really good brain, about training.
Yeah. But
I analyzed that and I looked the training video he made. He looked really similar to what I did, for building my strength in the 2010 years and over. It was a bunch of leg training, squatting, some block of strength, sometimes you stop the strength block, you go to hypertrophy for just relaxing a little bit, but building muscle. And always pushing hard. And it's like that also you build your body to adapt to the high volume, training. And it's why in competition you recover fast.
Yes.
I think a lot of strongmen right now not train enough.
I understand what you mean.
I think they don't train enough, and you can easily see that when they compete in a fast-paced competition.
That stuff, they don't.
I will say world's strongest man is not a good option, to measure that because it's so long break between.
Yeah.
But when the guy came to my show, example North American, it is 4 events in 4 hours during 2 days. You see who is well trained and who's not. It's not about be strong in long. It's about being conditioned and ready to everything. Probably you can pull a truck before you log lift. Then if you log lift 210 kilo in your gym, probably it will not happen today. But you have those guys really well trained. They can do the same weight because they already recovered from the truck.
I understand what you mean.
It made the difference. Then it's why Instagram video is never super impressive for me.
Yeah.
I will see in contests, what you do.
Of course. There's, it's also the concept like it used to be, like in the 80s and maybe 90s, but of course they changed with the Scandinavians and the Canadians in the 90s, that to be a strongman you have to be super massive, take 10 steps and be exhausted and lift enormous weights, but sadly it's not. Personally, I like the static stuff, personally. I mean, I could watch a massive squat all day long, but the running events, oh man, this is brutal stuff. I've done a yoke like twice in my life. It was all over it's art. It really is art. You have to have it.
It's really hard. It's really hard on the body.
when I'm thinking, because obviously the average person, right? I'm talking about somebody who's never lifted anything. They see the average lifter. I consider myself the average power lifter. I'm squatting like 250 or 500 pounds or whatever. They're like, oh my God. And then I'm thinking, you don't understand. They're running with 900 pounds, running on their back. They cannot, like, oh, you mean? I'm like, forget about it. It's okay. It's just extreme sports. That's extreme sport. You can slip a fucking disc with 3 steps, and then it's
Yeah.
over. So I'm like, that's extreme sports. You have to, you know.
Yeah. It's why the body has to adapt slowly to that.
I
It's
agree.
why you need to train more. You're always tired when you train strongman. If you
Oh,
feel fresh for train, it's because you are deload or you don't train enough. It's the two options.
I agree.
If a deload was programmed, it's fine, but you're supposed to always be a little tired. Always. You arrive. You squat Monday.
Oh
You
yeah,
arrive to deadlift on Wednesday. You're still feeling your legs sore.
I agree.
It's because you train enough is a good measurement.
Yeah,
But when it will hit, your full potential, when you will rest before competition, it's very important, and it's what I try to explain to my guy. And they always like to push back a session because they feel tired. No, do again.
yeah.
Because if you don't stress your body enough,
Yeah.
the body is not adapting.
Yeah, it's not going to do it. I agree. It takes a long time. It takes a lot of pressure, and it's a lifestyle, and it's just really hard to do. We haven't
Yeah,
even gotten to that.
exactly.
We'll never get to this question. Let's just screw it.
You can cut it.
I get. You want to do the first question officially? The first question.
Yeah. That's
All
good.
right. All right.
That's good.
If I'm correct, well, you start. I thought you started strong in 2004, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you do any more training before that?
No, I do my first strongman contest without training. I just try it for fun, and I wasn't bad. It was Quebec provincial, like 30 guys was there, no category in that time.
Yeah.
And they keep the top 12 for final. I came 17,
Really?
but I beat many guys training with me. Louis Philippe Jean was there also. He was 18 years old, came 19.
Oh yeah.
We just started to play with events.
Yeah.
But on certain events, I remember on arm over arm beating Dominic Filiou,
Yeah.
who the year after that came third in World's Strongest Man.
He was a beast.
Then
Yeah.
the people,
I have.
and it was like 210 pounds, and the people said, "Jesus Christ, who's this guy?"
Yes.
Something to do. Then few guys after that helped me to train because they see I have a certain potential.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's see. Okay. How did your family react when you decided to follow a career in strongman? Did they support you?
At the start, no, because I came from farm.
Yeah.
We have a big farm at home, and all time passed to train, was a loss of time. You must work.
Of course.
When farm, and my father don't understand for the first year, but in 2006 he came to see a competition.
Yeah.
And at that moment, it was a team contest, but I was really good during the contest, and my team won.
Okay.
And it was me with Philippe, Yannick Normandin, Alexandre Desier, Jimmy Francoeur. It was my training partner, but those guys was very good level, And we beat Dominic Filiou team. Jason Paulin have a team also. Then we beat those guys with my performance and the performance of the other guys. And my father saw at that moment, shit, something happened. Then the option was, and my grandfather think the same, when you do something, do it good, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then I put all my energy inside that because I know I find something I'm good at, I will try for real where I can go. Then it's starting from that point.
Was Dad a strong guy?
My father, yeah, he have bigger hands than me,
Really?
But he have probably a few thousand of hours of work more than in my hands,
I get it, yeah.
But a 6-foot guy, 200 pounds only. But I think my big genetic came from my grandfather on my mother's side.
Okay.
Who was 6 feet over, 200 pounds, very big man. Yeah. Good health also. I'm proud to say I have the same genetic that my grandfather. It's what my father said to me because my grandfather died 2006. Then I know him when I was younger.
Yeah.
But my dad said, your grandfather never put glass, and he have all teeth in mouth at 86.
Good
Then
bones.
I have the same thing. Then I'm really, really lucky, to get this genetic from my grandfather, and I think the strong genetic came from that point.
Yeah. I want to ask you, do you mind? I would like to check the file so far. Because it's about 35 minutes. Do you mind if I hang up, I check it for one? I want to see the sound. If it's okay, then I'll call you back. Is that all right? Because I don't want to, I don't want to turn my shirt off or anything like that. So I want to freak out if anything is wrong. Just 1 minute.
No problem.
All right. This is bullshit. I went to the doctor. I've been to the doctor 10 times. No bullshit. Maybe nine or 10 times. I haven't really talked about it on my social, but I mean, it's, I try to keep it a little bit private. As I'm not like people talking about how many times they have sex with a girlfriend. Nonsense. This is bullshit. It's not my style. And I haven't been able to put weight on it, and I broke a vein on my shin. I can probably send you a disgusting photo when we're finished, if you like. And my leg, I swear, my calf went to like 52 centimeters. Both of my calves are like 47, 48. They're not like small, but they're not 52 centimeters. Looks like this big. And so I'm doing injections in my belly for thrombosis, like a blood clot, I've been doing that for 3 weeks, and I went through 4 boxes of antibiotics and some probiotics for my stomach and my colon, so I don't shit myself all the time. And it's been a rough. This December fucking sucked. Seriously, I had to. I didn't get any. Huh?
I have to do those injections also when I broke both knees. It's because you cannot move at all at that moment. Then I have to inject Coumadin every day, every morning.
We're gonna get. This is like the hot topic. Although it's been like 2.5 years now. No, it's more than 2.5 years.
It will make 3 years.
3.
In March.
March. Okay, it was March of 22. So this is one of the questions. So let's get back to it. Because I don't want to have to hang up on you again. I was so sad. I was like, she was like trying to work it. I was like, am I a bad person? Why? What image am I? I'm a purist. I apologize. I'm a purist. Anyway, let's go to question number 3. Did you have any training partners that you'd like to talk about? People that helped you as a beginner?
Yeah. When I started, training partner was Yannick Normandin. He's still active in strongman. Yannick was competing at that time.
Yeah.
And Yannick is the head referee of the strongman circuit in Canada right now.
I see.
And Yannick was he go to university for be a sports teacher. He was a football trainer full time. Also, he won the Vanier Cup in the Université de Laval '99. The first Vanier Cup of that university. Now was a big dynasty. I think they won 12 times since that time. But he got this experience from that, starting strength sport during his university and starting strongman. Then he showed me how to train, because honestly, I have no experience about training. I was just my educational. When I went to school, that's it. It's not enough to train as a strongman.
No.
Then I learned like that. Starting to practice the events every weekend with the guy in my hometown, and just 2 years of training, and I turned pro and go to it was the Quebec Cup at that time.
Yeah.
Then the big circuit with Hugo Girard, running it with Justin Paulin, Fidiou, and the big guy like Christian Savoie, Louis-Philippe Jean. Then I jump in 2006 on the circuit, and in 2008, I have the lucky chance to get invited to CSM. And, because Fidiou cannot be there. I think his wife was pregnant, something wrong,
Okay.
and the baby. And Hugo invite me, came second, go to World Strongest Man. This is what's happening. And Yannick helped me to do it, After that, Yannick stopped his career. Yeah. I trained with many guys, but the big training partner I have for many years was Jimmy Paquette.
You mentioned him
Jimmy
earlier.
was...
Yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy had got some good result at international. I think Jimmy at the start, he was a small guy, lower than 200 pounds, really small, but very athletics. He played football, it's really athletics. He have a good overall strength.
Yeah.
He started to train with us, and is this guy, the only guy finally survived to the training I made, is this guy. All the other guys tried,
The smaller
and
guy.
finally yeah, and the other guys try a lot, but at one moment they give up. It's what happening. But Jimmy never give up. You need this also. This mentality to push hard always without any stop and be disciplined to reach the top level. And finally, Jimmy competed in World Strongest Man 2017.
That's crazy.
He also finished fifth one time in Arnold Europe.
That's big.
That year, he beat Brian Shaw that contest. It's not something small. You say maybe Brian was not at his best, but still is Brian Shaw.
Yeah.
Then Jimmy, he accomplished many things in strongman, and we trained together for, I would say, 6 to 7 full years. Every day.
Oh yeah. It's good to have that kind of people around you. It really is.
Yeah. He really pushed me. Okay, I show him what to do, but also on the other side, he forced me to continue. And at the end of his career, he was really strong. Jimmy pulled a 950 raw deadlift at my gym. In February 2020.
What is that? 430.
I will remember
kg
that
or
moment.
435, something like
430, that. Exactly 430. And I cannot stay there and be lazy. Because if I'm lazy just a little bit, this guy beat me.
This is
he was my motivation for a while.
This is definitely something that I believe, although it's like a one-man sport, powerlifting as well, because I'm not an expert in strongman. I watched and I love the sport, but I haven't really done it. It can get very lonely, and I think when it comes to, like, for me personally right now, I don't want to waste time with my shit, but like not having, because I'm training in a fitness gym, right? I've been bitching about it since 2019. They're good people. Don't get me wrong, but this is nothing compared to. It's like me. It's like me, like tapping on the ball on the bag downstairs at the boxing ring. Me tapping on it and hitting it doesn't make me a fucking boxer. I don't know how to hit it, but I like to do it. That doesn't make me a fighter. So when I see these guys, I'm like, there's nothing. There's just nothing there. I'm not trying. A couple of these guys. I got one guy who's spotting me for like 3 years now, and I swear to you, he's gotten stronger because he was just a skinny little guy. And no offense, I'm not talking down on people who are not. I'm fat. I eat to look like this, but it takes hard. And he told me one time, he doesn't say much. He said to me, "It must be hard to be strong, and then 3 months later to fail, and then come back and like I've cried at contests. I've gotten home, like kicked chairs, and once I almost had a fucking heart attack. I failed in 21, and she was there. She's seen it all, and I fail a Smith machine press. We don't have a rack in my fucking gym. There's nothing. So I have a little log, like an amateur log, a small one, and I got the heavy dumbbells. Yeah. I got these guys here that are saving my ass. The dumbbells in the gym stop at 35 kilograms. I was doing 35 kilograms 2009. I'm not JF Caron, but I'm not. This is bullshit. So anyway, so when I to go around to go back to the subject, it's like I'm looking around and there's nobody. Whilst when I was in Iceland, I would look around. I was like, this guy is fucking killing me. This guy's crushing me. This guy I can beat, but they're all animals. The mentality was like, and they were all there. Like I'm gonna finish with this story because I just love the interaction. I remember and I told them that in the gym here, and they're like, okay, they don't understand it. Like in 2013, I was about 112 kg. I had a little bit of boobies. I wasn't as built as I am today. Of course, it's been such a long time with dedicated training, and I was trying to pick up a rubber 100 kilogram stone, just a practice stone for like beginners, right? And I'm trying to pick it up, but the last podium was quite higher than me. It was like maybe 6'5", 6'6". It was pretty close to 195 or so, and I'm struggling to put the stone up 16 times. The 16th, I'm dying. I'm dying, right? I'm not that strong, right? I'm squatting maybe. I had like a knee surgery. I had ankle surgery. I had a lot of problems with my body, from work mostly. And I'm dying to put it up there. They're like, do it like this, grab it from the bottom because it's slipping. I'm not. There's no tacky. I'm not an expert on tacky anyway. They're like, no, you're gonna get fucked up. The 16th time, it goes down. I drop on it. I get knocked out. I go to bed. I'm like, I'm trying to wake up. It feels like the electricity hit me. I was like this, and there was like nobody's making fun of nobody. They just left me alone. They just made a little space, obviously because I just got knocked out. I sit down and I'm pissed at myself. Now at this point I'm working 10 to 12 hours a day at fish factories. I'm killing myself, right? I'm got old stabs everywhere. And I'm thinking, there's no fun. I do not care. This is going up, and this is after squat training and dead squats and dead splits and stuff. I'm not concerned. I don't care. So I put it up the 17th time, and it was Stefan Solvi Peterson and his brother Ulver, like a wolf. I'm sure you know Stefan Solvi. And
Oh, yeah, I know.
yeah. He was in the finals in 2013, I think. That's another guy who doesn't get talked about enough. He doesn't get talked about.
11,
Was it 11?
2011.
All right, you
Yeah,
got me. See,
he came fourth.
right.
He came fourth. I know Stefan really good.
Yeah, he's been very good to me. He's very
That's
very
solid.
good guy to me. So, and
Yeah, it
so
was a short card. We got a few cards like issue, but he was really solid guy.
yeah, he was. Typical Icelander. And they came to me, and I'm looking like their little son. I'm like, okay. And they're like, you have good spirit for strongman. I'll never forget this. They probably don't give a fuck. They don't remember that stuff, because I looked like a piece of macaroni next to them, and I thought, okay, that's good. But of course, I kept it to powerlifting because of my back. Otherwise, I was on my way to. I reminded Magnus this in a conversation like 6 months ago, and I hadn't spoken to him in years. And I said, "Do you remember when you told me he was going to put me like the last guy at Iceland Strongest Man so I can work my way up? I would have never made it to Giants Live or anything like that, but it was my pride and joy. I didn't make it. But the mentality, like you said about Jimmy, about you, like you're looking at your guy and you're thinking, I cannot fail this guy. I have a responsibility. We're here. We're grown men. We got jobs, wives, girlfriends, families, whatever the fuck. It's your business. But if I am here to do this, I can always go home. I got bills to pay. I can call my mom. You know what I mean? I got a lot of other things to do. Since we're here,
Yeah.
I need to commit myself no matter what happens. And I don't find that here. It's been 5 years. It's just I don't. Very few people in the powerlifting scene, but I live pretty far from them, so I'm not gonna trash talk the powerlifters. There's some really strong, dedicated guys, but just where I live, it's just stones and goats, and there's nobody here. They're doing bicep curls, shit like that. So I'm sorry, I had to
I understand.
let out my emotions.
But it's true. The training partner honestly helped me a lot. I did a big weight strongman, but I will not say I do it alone. I train by myself many times. For sure.
It's true.
And when I lose Jimmy during the pandemic because he finally stopped due to some family issue,
Yeah.
you have to work and stop strongman. He made this decision. It was hard for me, honestly. I have to push myself
Of course.
by myself when
That's
training
the hard part. Yeah.
alone. It was hard, but it was my job. Then I would not complain about that. But it's a way better with somebody.
Of course.
It's a way better with somebody. And this guy have my respect because honestly, he never give up. He always continue. And I heard many times guy training with us in this when he was small and not strong. Say, oh, I was better than him. Yeah, but what you do, you would give up. Strongman is about never give up. You have to continue and be disciplined, and you make your path. And finally, Jimmy built the strength, and finally he beat all those guys training with us. And history will remember him like a top Canadian athlete of all time. It's the fact.
It's crazy. Let's see. Okay, this is more personal stuff. Name some of your favorite strongman events, and then I would like to know which one is your number one.
Number one, honestly, squatting.
The squat.
Squatting for reps from max.
Yeah.
I really like that even with machines, and stuff like that,
Yeah.
was something it's because I will say that because I feel something different when the events happen.
Yeah.
You think you have 9 reps in the tank, but many times in squatting, I hit, example, not 9, 13.
Yeah.
Because the crowd, and I feel this extra adrenaline, I push more on that even.
Yeah.
What it's not really happening in deadlift, because when you hit your limit, it's finished.
Yeah.
When I lift the first rep, I can easily to say how much I have in the tank. But in squatting, it's different. This it's also a big part of that lifting straight there.
Yes.
And I like this thing.
Absolutely, I agree. The squat is my favorite exercise. My body's broken. I still prefer to squat. So I think it's like for me. It's like the best movement. Of course, the deadlift is the absolute measure of strength because it's like dead weight. You have to pick it up. So, but the squat is. I can't remember who said it. It was like one of the Chris Duffin guys, one of those big coaches, like the king of all exercises, and I totally agree with that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I say to my athletes, if you have just one thing to do in the week, squat. It's the most complete movement for building strength. It's very simple. And the old school, I talking with many very strong athletes in the past. Zidronas will you say the same. Also, Christoph Rezikowski was a big fan of squatting big weights, and building strong legs. Christoph is probably one of the strongest guy. I compete with him.
He was
really solid.
Yeah, he was a fuck. I remember his shoulder presses, his upper. But what's up with the Polish guys at the upper body? I mean, their presses are just insane. Look at Kiliskowski as well. I mean, I don't remember that many. There's a lot of strongmen these days. But I remember Sebastian Venta. I remember Jarek Dimek, who was pretty good.
Yeah.
And they were all killing it in the presses. Pujanovsky too. They were really good at lower body, but the presses were just insane. I don't know what it is, but it's just very, very impressive. Let's see. Did you do anything else besides the strongman events for endurance?
For sports, I was involved a lot with many sports in the past. I do a lot of. I play hockey, of course. I do alpine skiing competition for time, but I do also like. Not sure about the word in English, but athleticism. Track running.
Athleticism.
When I was young, a lot. Then I think this background cardio helped me a lot when I switched to strongman.
Yeah.
Of course, with you lose a little bit this big capacity, but when I start and until 2000, I will say 2015, something like that, loading race and cardio stuff was my best event.
Okay.
Then I think this background helped me a lot, to have a better cardio than the average.
Yeah.
And it's always helping a lot. You see, we are talking about Hooper, why he's winning everything. Cardio is one of the reasons also. He has better cardio than all the other guys.
Of course. Let's see. Okay. If you focused on powerlifting, I mean, if you just did powerlifting, what do you think your numbers would be at the end of your career?
It's hard to say, but I'm sure, when I was squatting at the Arnold, I was capable of 1,000-pound squat without the suit, because I succeed 950 in training, in sleeves. Then I think I have a way more. Deadlifting with no strap should be 1,000. Honestly, I never tried. My best is 925, but doing like 2013. Back in the days, very far away, not really practicing, my grip was good. Probably 1,000. My best bench press was 262.5. Should be 574 pounds, something like that.
It must be. That's raw. We're talking raw or single ply?
Raw.
So
in single ply shirt, I did 320, 700. That 317.5.
Oh, I didn't remember you had a 320 single ply.
I did back in 2013. It was also a single lift.
Okay.
Just bench press.
I mean, single
just
ply,
for fun.
320 single ply is still a lot of fucking weight. I mean, don't get me wrong. So,
I was good in bench press, honestly. Remember, we do some kind of bench with machine. in one contest. And one time also in North America, it was like log incline pressing.
Okay.
And I beat everybody on that, I'm not built like a benchman.
No, I get
but
it.
I won the title of North American that year just because of that, because Christian Samuel was in lead of me, and he was a horrible bencher, and he lose all his point on that event, and I won. Honestly.
All right. Give me the 3 toughest people you competed against.
Christoph.
Radzikovsky. Yeah.
Martin Liches.
Is he that good, huh?
I would say Brian Shaw.
Yeah, Brian is tough. But you've done Saviscus too. You competed against Saviscus too. Why? I'm curious. Yeah. Why did you say Brian but not Big Z?
Because Big Z don't need to push 100% majority of time when I compete with him. And I saw Brian win contests with injury carrying over the events, and don't complain. It's what I name a tough guy.
Yeah.
He broke his hamstring. He finished the contest anyway. And he won. It's happening many times with Brian. I will not say that that's not tough. It's happening to him for sure. To get injured.
Yeah.
But honestly, I learned a lot from Zidrunas. I like this guy. It was my model when I was competing, starting in Strongman Champions League.
Yeah.
But this guy just pushing 80% always.
I know.
We know he will win. Then we fight for second. It was like that. This guy was like in training.
Yeah, he's a fucking...
I never see him really to push super hard.
Yeah.
I think he has to push really hard few times against Brian's battle, but I wasn't in that contest. You understand?
Yeah.
2011, 2013 wasn't there too. But I saw Brian sometimes struggling, and I would say he was nervous about some events. So just stop thinking, let's go. And he can push. He can push really hard also. We have the best battle I have with Brian wasn't in World's Strongest Man at the Arnold.
Yeah.
It was when he competed in Canada.
Really?
It was very hard battle, North America 2 times with him, he beat me at the end by 1.5. Then he really have to push it through, to beat me. The last day of North America 2000, I would say 14 or 13, I think 14. It was 3 events left. It is a 9-event competition.
Yeah.
On the last day, Brian was another guy. If you want to win, you really have to win everything today.
Oh, yeah.
And he put everything and he do it. Then I cannot beat it. I give everything, I don't do mistakes, and I lose. It's what I said that.
I mean, these are, some of the strongest people that ever lived. So you should be very, very proud to be able to push it, because you, in my opinion, you're a quiet guy, and you've done a lot of shit in your career. 260 contests, my God, I'll never forget this. I promise you. It's like to people who don't, not even like do a simple fucking bench press. They don't understand the stress on the body doing 260 strongman contests. I can't believe you're still like in one piece. I'll be honest with you. This is another thing that people don't understand is the genetics. Like a lot of people would be, really, really badly injured. They would never be able to. I think Big Z has also done like 200 contests. I can't remember now.
He's in the 300.
It's 300. That's fine.
Yeah, he is alone in his category. Paul count everything. You have example, Big Z alone.
Yeah. Oh.
Christoph.
Yeah.
Me. Terry Hollins. Felix. Mariusz Bozanovsky. Those guys make a lot of contests. Brian Shaw don't have a lot of contests because he just compete at the show.
Yeah.
But for us, in that time, if you want to live from something, you have to compete.
I understand. Yeah.
Because it was very small money. Then we compete. All the guys competing in Strongman Champions League back in 2009, example.
Yeah.
I have a lot of contests I think second overall is Terry Hopkins. Terry compete a lot.
Really, huh?
Yeah, and for a long time. Terry started really young in strongman.
I know.
He did like over 100 contests also.
It must be a bit older than you and me. I'm 43. You're 42, right? Or 41?
Yeah, I think Terry's 44.
40. Oh, okay, because he's not that much older. Okay.
But he compete, a lot more than me before. He competed many World Strongest Man competition, compete in England, compete in Europe, everywhere. He was always there. That those guys compete, and he got injured, but not that much.
I get it.
Yeah. Still fighting for top level. He made 2 podiums in the World Strongest Man.
I remember.
That guy was really solid. Of course, he has big genetic. Genetic is not about just be strong, fast, and tall and big. It's about being, handle the training, handle the volume. You can give to the body.
I absolutely agree. Let's see. Where am I? I lost my question. Okay. Well, this is it's a bit longer, but I want to ask you about the Canadian genetics, and it's a little bit, but I'll get it through. So Canada has been one of the strongest countries in history. I have to leave many names out, or we'll have to chat for hours. But you got Louis Cyr, you got Eugene Cowet. I hope I said that correctly. You got Gaston as well from Quebec. I think it's Heon or Hey. I can't remember. I can't spell his last name. Gaston. I think he was a strong man or long time ago. I have to look him up. But you got Doug Hepburn, and then the 1900s and the 1800s Canadian strongmen are so many. You just cannot I researched like 20, 30 names, and I thought this will never finish this conversation. You got from more recent times yourself, of course. You got Christian, like you mentioned, who was at the top when you were coming up. Todd McGee, who doesn't get mentioned enough. You got Girard, Filiu, Louis-Philippe Jean. You got today's Maxime, who's just an amazing athlete. Derwinski, the twins. Is it Rome twins?
Rayon.
Rayon. You see, it's the French. It's confusing me. I knew I was gonna kill it. You got
but of course it's true. I will say, if it's a real contest for strongest nation, Canada have very good chance right now. And leading with Mitch Hooper, you start with a big advantage.
I think you got like 3 guys last year, or was it in the finals? Or?
Yeah, you have Mitch finish second.
Right.
You have Tristan finish 5th, and Wesley Derwinski finish 6th.
That's insane. That is incredibly impressive.
Yeah, it was a very good result for the country. Really proud of that, honestly. I think, I don't know, if I can have just 1%, of my legacy to give to those guys, because they train strongmen since so long time, and Tristan and Wesley obviously compete in my circuit for years. If I help for that, I'm really proud, to see that. And I said in an interview last year in World Strongest Man, one day it will be 3 Canadian flag on that podium. If I say that 5 years ago, people would say you're totally idiot.
Yeah.
But right now, you saw it's possible.
They're killing it. They're just amazing athletes. They really are. Let's see. Okay, here's a good one. Who do you think is the strongest man ever? And do you have a favorite athlete who may not probably be a champion? Just one of your favorites?
Yeah, but I will say Zedronas by the statistic he put on. How dominant he was during so many years.
I agree.
How many titles won. You cannot argue that. It's my opinion. But I will say it's probably the guy I learned the most from too, because I have the chance to compete a lot of time in Europe with him.
Yeah.
He wasn't talking that much, but I was looking what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's no that much question to ask. This guy was the best.
Yeah.
Just if he's doing that way, it's probably the good way. Then I just try to reproduce them, and he gave me the best advice ever. And it's why I think I have a quite good career. I asked him at my first contest, in the Strongman Champions League in Latvia.
Yeah.
I came second to him in that competition, and I asked him, what I have to do to be good like you. He told me, compete much as you can.
Really?
And this is what I started to do, and I think it was very good advice.
Yeah.
I get better and better, and learning to compete is different than training, and deal with the competition also. And at one moment, competition became your comfort zone. Then you have no stress, no sleeping problem, doesn't care with fucking traveling and stuff like that,
Right.
When whistle blows, you start. That's it. It's very, very simple. I don't need psychologists and stuff around sport. It's very basic.
Yeah.
You give everything now. Yeah. And in world class level, it's no point to keeping energy or try to no. Yeah. When it's blow, everything. If you learn that, you will be good. In any level. It's very primary, but I think it's essential, and it's not everybody is capable to doing that.
Of course, a lot of pressure. It's a lot of stress. I understand.
And it's a reality. You see the guys on the fuck, they choke at the end and something wrong. But for learning that, you have to compete. And sometimes the competition itself is not that much harder than training. Honestly, my training was harder than the contest many times.
I understand. Absolutely.
If it's super hard to compete, probably you don't train enough. It's my opinion.
I understand.
And now I saw new athletes, they are afraid to compete. And I think it's wrong. You will never become champion if you're afraid. How many times Hooper compete this year? Many times. He do all Giants live show.
Yeah.
Every big contest he did.
Yeah.
He podium everywhere. But he's not afraid about lifting stuff.
No.
It's also very important. It's my opinion. I'm like that, I was like that too, It's time to try a new equipment in the yard. I pick up and I lift. I don't care. You're a strongman. You're built for lifting stuff. You have to try and be able to try and lift it in contests. And I will be not afraid about that. And it's happening many times. I will try to lift something in the yard in World's Strongest Man, with my group example, and nobody is moving. Everybody's there and watching me.
The competition.
But sometimes, but you have to do it. Then just if you new athletes, listen that. Don't be afraid. Compete. You will be better.
I agree 100%. Let's see. Well, if you don't mind talking about the injury in 2022.
Yeah.
How, it's a bit, I got 2-3 questions that kind of fall into one, as in, first of all, I'm glad to see you. I think you talked about on the Chalet's podcast, the interview, you said you deadlifted 400 kilograms about earlier 24, right? Do I remember this well? Sometime in 24?
Yeah, you take 1 year.
About a year, yeah?
You take 1 year to come back, but the knees will never come back like before. It's not the strength. I can squat. I squat this morning. I do 545 pounds for 10 repetitions. What is not bad, for an old man. And with no piece of equipment, nothing.
No.
Then I feel solid under the bar, knees okay. But what is leaving is this explosion, to jump on the box.
Right.
I made a 56 just box jump, in the past at 335 pounds.
I'm not surprised.
But I cannot do it anymore.
I see.
Sprinting, changing direction really quick.
Right.
And drive is disappear. Also, my balance, because I have a very good balance, came from my background in alpine skiing competition.
Yeah.
It really helped me in strongman, honestly. But when I restart to walk, I lose everything. Then I don't have the same balance too. Then it's why it will be never same. But for normal life and normal training, it's fine. The knees okay. I don't have any pain. I take the plane right now. I have absolutely no pain in knees. What I suffer all my career. Then it's good.
That is, you should be happy considering also what happened. And I saw the log video when it happened now almost 3 years ago, I think it was, right?
Yeah,
And then it's just, I cannot believe that was when you did the squat, the same contest, wasn't it?
yeah, it is the same comment.
The
And
same
this is
contest.
day number 2.
And I'm thinking his knees didn't cave in the squat, and I don't understand how that happened. I don't know what it was. Could it be?
It's because when we check on the really slow replay, when I hit my leg drive, the left foot slipped a little bit on the platform. Then this split, broke the tendon, and because I hit my shot, the right leg pushed through and broke also.
Oh man!
It's just what happened. It's a bad accident. It's boring because it's supposed to arrive in squat, but I squat. I was not on 100%. It's no danger. But there it's happening just a little slip. It's like you pull an Atlas stone, you slip a little bit, tuck, your bicep.
You can tear the bicep. Yeah, absolutely. That's just, what a shame. But when I watched it, and I couldn't see. It was the left ankle that slipped, wasn't it? Or
yeah, it was. It thinking it's broke, but it was just like tweak.
Soft twist.
Because it's because when both broke, you cannot move your legs at all. Then you fall on yourself. Then it's always happening. You could see few guys like Marcel Hirsch from Poland. It's happening like a little bit later after me.
Yeah.
Ankle broke, same thing. On log, both broke, then ankle. It's always like that. But when I wake up 3 weeks after, because I cannot walk at all during 3 weeks, the ankle was because you put no weight on it. Then you recover a lot quicker than when you walk all the way to your ankle.
Of course. And the tendons are used to all the pressure you'll be putting, so.
It wasn't that bad. It was just bad because I was not at home. Then they have to surgery in Columbus, get back home and play.
That's right.
Then it was just the bad part of it. But I came back pretty well. It's a hard moment to pass, but you will walk in a few weeks.
Yeah.
It's not like you decrease and you go in the bed and not moving.
Right.
I tell my wife, if the moment it will go riverside and I came back here for no reason, it's finished.
Right. As long as you can squat again, right? If we can squat, life is good.
Exactly.
Let's see. You became president of the Strongman Circuit in 2019, if I remember well. Tell us a little bit about that. What are the future plans for this? This is going really well for you guys, from what I can see.
Yeah, we try to put more show across Canada, much as possible. There's a lot of job. Yeah. We have a lot of show also this year. Our biggest competition is always the North American Championships.
Right.
We put in last year. We have a very good lineup of guys there. Where Maxime totally explode, and win the competition before the last event. Honestly, surprised everybody. It's our contest, and all the guys came there, from a long time. This competition exists since 18 years, and Thor was there one moment. Brian came 2 times. With Martin Litchis, Christoph, many guys came at that place for competition, and everybody say, "Fuck, it's hard competition." And now it's 8 events. Because we have women also, North American women, and we are short in time. But during few years, it was a 10-event race during 2 days. And nothing light there. It's probably one of the hardest contests to win.
I remember when you said the 10 event. That was in 2 days. 10 events. My God. That second day when you woke up, you must have been like trashed on the second.
Yeah, and there you can see who is ready and who is not. You have few guys that are really strong came there and do a very bad result because they are just exhausted. Remember, during over 10 years, first event was truck pull uphill, and nobody finished that truck. Nobody, because it was always uphill more. Then you do a certain distance, throw up the harness, log lift, or farmer's walk now.
Oh.
I remember seeing Martin Litchis winning that event in 2000, I would say 18.
Yeah.
He win. Okay. And at the moment to go to the log middling, he stay on ground again, and he finished last. He was so empty, because he put too hard. push too hard on the event, then something you would have to deal with the energy you put in. But it was a brutal competition. Imagine if a good athlete like Martins is totally empty during a competition day and he struggle, it's because it's not easy, trust me.
So the plan was to kill all the foreigners that came to Canada and.
I killed myself also. Remember that year?
Yeah.
It was a brutal contest, and remember when I go back home, it was just 1 hour driving for me. Okay. We stopped to eat ice cream. Both of my hamstring crap, and I stay on the asphalt, laying down during 15 minutes. And it was probably it was more painful than when I broke my knees. Trust me.
The hamstrings, I can imagine. I have pulled my calves twice. I think the hamstring. I've been lucky with my hamstring, just cramping, but nothing, no pulling or tearing.
Yeah.
But the two calf pulls, it moved all the way up. I actually screamed. One of them was in my sleep. I was like, "Oh fuck!" And like yourself, I've had knee surgery, the quadricep tendon reattachment. I was working with a detached tendon, and the meniscus was also like 25-30%. They had to vacuum it out. It was ruined. And I was working for a month like this. And the doctor, when I went in 2011, I was a newbie. I was like squatting 140 kilograms. And the guy was like, "There's no way that you were working like this." And I was like, I said, "Lifting is the problem. I cannot train. I didn't care about work. I'm going to work anyway." But I cannot imagine both hamstrings, you said.
Yeah, it was painful, but it's just because it was totally empty. And for winning that show, it's nothing easy, No, you have to push on everything, and trust me, I remember seeing few guys, and I include myself at one moment during it. I do like almost all the edition of that contest during 20 years. People need to sit somewhere during the autograph signature at the end because it's over 1 hour long. Few times one guy collapsed, from heat stroke, after competition, just taking photo with the fan, but it was too much at one moment. How empty the guy was, Then it was our very hard competition, and nobody will came to Victoriaville and say it's easy this year again. Trust me.
You should come up with another way.
Real strongman contests, nothing less.
The newspapers would have said everybody's dead, nobody's coming back next year, right?
Yeah. But those contests, those hard contests I made, is probably those I remember the most.
You remember a lot of contests, actually. I'm like, oh shit, he remembers everything.
Yeah, but what you remember when it was hard.
I agree.
Sometimes I don't remember the result. It doesn't care, 10 years after.
Right.
But shit, I remember that event. How I was feeling after, how empty I was. And all the other guys in the tent was, Jesus Christ, what is that? And okay, again, it is yoke right now. Let's go. No warm up. We go. It's like that in Canada, Then it's not easy competition. And last year we made the first time North American strong woman.
Yeah.
And it was almost the same event for the woman too. And it's not an easy show. And the woman honestly put a really, really good show and impressed a lot the crowd. It impressed me as well. Yeah. I saw some stuff like that, very impressive to do. Then it's why we came back this year with that, and the woman will be on TV also.
Women, because we watch a lot of strongman and strong women on our screen, and the girls can be very competitive. And, this is what we always discuss. Like, don't confuse, like, the lack of hair, maybe not being 180 kilograms. Like, don't confuse appearance with will. Because the chicks are fucking insane. They're pulling 700 pounds and on 650. I haven't pulled 700 pounds yet. And I've been training for 17 years. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I admire them, and I really enjoy the competition. Because some of them are angry too. like the boys are a little bit more like, high fives, and it's not like it used to be maybe, but the chicks are pissed at each other. You can tell.
And so sometimes I'm guilty of that. Watching Rogue Invitational, it was like the last major show we checked last year.
Yeah.
I think the girls was more funny to watch. Like it was very close race. Everybody was really close. Like the battle was more interesting. And you don't know who will win until the end.
Exactly.
Then they put something really good. And when you lift, probably you enjoy a little bit more because for a majority of people, 500, 700, it means nothing.
Yeah, of course.
But when you lift already those lifts and you saw women moving like that, it's so impressive,
It is incredible.
And I think it's why strong women and all women's sport going up right now because the performance are there. I have a few women's examples. Samantha is the best in the world. She's the best in the world on dumbbell. She's close to 200 pounds right now. Honestly, I think I have few strong men in my circuit struggle with that weight.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Then it's also pushing the guys to let's go, move. Woman's coming. Also, it's motivating and positive for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. It is very inspiring to see that. I mean, like I said, this is like you said, most people that don't train. Like I know a lot of guys in my gym here that would be very discouraged to see a chick pulling 250 kilograms for repetitions. I think they would just never show up again. I love it because I love strength. I would like if a chick comes and kicks my ass on bench, I'm gonna say fuck, that's insane. I don't know a lot of chicks that are benching 385 raw. Maybe not yet, but maybe in a few years.
I think probably soon. Probably soon. But anyway, if you want to do more, you have to train, and the effort is there. And anyway, in strength sport, you have to let your ego at the door.
First thing.
In my mind,
I agree.
It will be always somebody better than you at something.
Always.
Always. Then just be humble, and probably the social media, create a hype around it. Probably, now the strongmen are characters also. They talk a lot more than what we do like 15 years before. Keep it more interesting also for the fans. But at the basic things, just the performance is interesting to see, and you have to like it, to watch the woman lifting like that. And if you have some problem, because your ego is too big, but if somebody lift more than you, it's very simple. Train more or do something different, It's very individual. And I really enjoy to see. Anyway, strength is temporary. At one moment on your life, you will be not able to live what you lived before. Then you have to enjoy the moment.
Right, I agree.
Because it's very temporary. It's the same thing for all strength athletes, and you have to think about that because it will hit one day. I know what I thought. But, it will be never put out from you what you do before.
It doesn't take away from the work. The work was always there. I agree. You have to really love it to do that anyway. So, let's see. Can you remember any funny stories that happened in competition? What's like the craziest story that you've seen or happened to you, maybe?
Oh, there's so many story, but it's happening many things during my international career. But what I remember the most, honestly, it's not the events itself. What I pulled. I would say my armor tire deadlift is probably my best lift ever in my mind. How the hype was good. It was no crowd there, but it was really fun because it was just friends. I really enjoyed that moment, and I really have the impression I surpassed myself on that day. It's why I will put there. It's my best moment in strongman. But what I remember most after all career is more the traveling and the meals with the guys after those is what I like the most, and it's why I'm really, I would say, sad about the Arnold tournament left, because we all traveling together, going to everywhere around the world, passed a lot of time together. This traveling was really, really fun. It's what I miss the most, honestly.
The life experience is what stays in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
end, I
life
think.
experience.
That's
I don't remember how I finished in Australia in 2017. Not sure,
right.
but I remember we always eat, at that place
Yeah.
with those guys. Sometimes some bodybuilder came with us because bodybuilder was following the group over all the Arnolds.
Okay.
That it was a very good group of athletes. Everybody has. You compete bodybuilding, strongman, powerlifting. It doesn't matter. Everybody have a very disciplined life, and
It is true.
it's fun to exchange with somebody doing almost the same thing than you. Finally,
I understand. Yeah. Of
then
course.
it was a great moment. Sometimes you can talk a lot in the plane. Like Los Angeles, Melbourne in 16 hours. Then you don't have time to have some discussion with
Oh,
the guys and the girls also traveling in that moment. But it was a very very happy thing for me, and really really happy to have the chance to do it, also do a professional sport. I always regret never do Olympics or never play on a professional hockey team or something like that.
Yeah.
But I have a sort of professional career,
Yeah.
and I really enjoyed that. It's what I miss the most, and many story I will keep it private about the party after.
I'm sure there are stories that cannot be told on live.
Yeah,
I understand. I
exactly.
get it. I get it. I want to. Do you have anything you would like to add? Maybe you want to give us like your social media, email, where can people find you? I know you're coaching people, stuff like that.
Yeah. I am coaching online, coaching through all the. Right now, I'm full of athletes, but I have a waiting list. If some people want to know, just like contact me on the Instagram page, GF Caron Strongman. I don't put publicity and stuff. I have a small group of athletes I'm
Right.
following at any level. At any level, I have guys competing in the World's Strongest Man, then I have guys starting competition. But I want to work with people they really want to do something in the sport, or girls. Yeah, I say guys, but
Right.
girls also, and try to live what I learned. Because the thing it will be really fun is go back in time and know what I know now.
Yeah.
When I start. Now we have a lot more science to put on the paper, then it's helping a lot, and you have so many good content on the social media on YouTube. Brian is putting a lot of training, during all his career.
Yeah.
Mitchell Hooper make a good job also bringing science, also the science he put. It's good. And finally, I listen what Mitch is doing and what he's thinking about training. It really looks like what we do before, but we have no idea why it was working. He just put number on it. It's hard to measure also, but it's no magic tricks. It's the first thing I say to the athletes. Nothing will arrive by miracle.
Of course.
Hard work, result. It's very, very straight connected. I can put you a list of guys I follow. I will rate the Ep4 during a year.
Yeah.
And you will see the result at the end of the year. I don't do a lot of mistakes on my thinking about that. Of course, injury can happen, and you have some, variable about that. But it's a training sport. Never forget this. It's a training sport. You need to train to become strong.
I agree.
It's the base like that. Okay, you have some fine tuning things we can bring in the sport because we know new stuff now. But it's really, really, really basic. When I started, they told me you have to lift plates. You have to move weight, and you have to eat. If you don't do that, and you try a bunch of other thing, outside that, it will not work. And it's what I like, and I really, really like, going to OSG last December, see the new athletes coming.
Yeah.
And it's very fun to see how the sport is growing, and how much people want to become one of the great. Then we will have many other surprises in the future.
Oh, I'm sure.
The level is very, and I will say, I don't know, but I think the level in Europe, I don't know how many people compete in Europe, but in the past, Europe was the strength.
It was.
But now, I think the game is in North America.
It is. It is. I agree. I agree.
The,
Europe
the
was
game it
'90s,
is.
early 2000s, maybe Saviskas, I think, and the Polish guys kept it
Uh,
high. Now it's with Brian. I think
yeah,
Brian kind of changed the game there. Mike Burke a little bit. These guys. I mean, there's so many American athletes.
yeah, and also we have the. I think it's a bunch of Russian athletes
Oh yeah.
can come to compete with the top guys right now. I just hope this fucking shit war will finish one day, and all
Purposely.
athletes, because the politics not supposed to affect the athlete itself.
No, they
It's
shouldn't.
just you just want to lift stones and deadlift and head squat, please.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then outside of that, I think it will be more competitive again in Europe with the Russian comeback, and I just hope everybody will continue to push hard. But I was really impressed by what's the North American
Yeah,
group
yeah,
of
yeah.
athletes, just behind the name we will know. They are a good competitor. It's a lot of guys we don't know, but we will know soon. Trust me.
Absolutely. There's a lot of 20-year-olds that are coming to kick everybody's ass in the next few years. It always
Yeah.
happens like that. It's always been like that. I don't want to keep you any longer. You've been very kind with your time, and I'm gonna stop the recorder, and then we can say our proper goodbyes and all that stuff. So
Perfect.
personally, I
Thank you.
thank you very much for doing this. Hopefully, because I think I'm working early tomorrow morning. I might be able to edit and put this up in 1 or 2 days, or the weekend at the latest. Of course, I can send you the link and stuff like that. So
Perfect.
you're
I will
an
share.
absolute legend, and I'm serious. Like a good person, you've helped a lot of people in the sport, which is the legacy. Once you're done competing, and it's been an absolute honor to have you on the channel. I'm gonna put this up in the next few days. So let me stop that here
Thank
for a second.